Hello, once again. My name is Ethan Berry, and welcome to Ethan Chats. Today we have born and bred Oakland filmmaker, UC Berkeley graduate, and master's degree, Genova Carlisle. How you doing?
What's going on, E?
Oh man, I'm just glad that you're here.
Right.
Just so the audience can get an understanding of who you are. Tell us about what your journey was in terms of getting into film.
Okay. And first, I'm from Berkeley.
Oh, you from Berkeley? My fault.
No, just for people out there, if they say like, "You ain't from Oakland, he from Berkeley." He better not be saying he from Oakland. Nah.
Okay, correction, Berkeley.
No, I'm just messing around. Yeah, film. Man, my journey to film, it wasn't conventional because as an adolescent, growing up, how I grew up, I wasn't really so much into cinema. I mean, I wasn't really even so much into school, so I found film in college.
Okay.
In college. Prior to college, I was incarcerated for a year. Right out of high school, just running with the wrong crowd.
Right.
And, I lost my father. My father raised me. I lost my father while I was incarcerated. So I came home to an aunt that was willing to take me in.
Right.
And she kind of gave me two choices, like you're either going to go to school or you're either going to work.
Right.
And my father always preached education, even though I didn't really take that route serious.
Right.
So I saw it as an opportunity to kind of, make him proud.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to school, especially if I got the opportunity to, living with someone who cared about me, and she was extremely educated herself. So she, imparted that knowledge on me.
Right.
And yeah, I went to City College of San Francisco for 2 years, transferred to UC Berkeley, and then right after that went straight to CCA to get my MFA in film production.
All right.
And now I'm here.
Hey, not only are you here, you've done a few shorts.
Oh yeah, I have about 4 shorts out, and yeah, just a testament to my creativity and hard work.
Yeah, and that's awesome because one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was, where do you get your inspiration?
Man, I guess I don't know. I really don't know, man. I just feel like I can do things, and I like to challenge myself, and I just know where I came from, and I just,
Right.
And I just want to feel fulfilled,
Yeah.
And when I was exposed to cinema in college rather, I was like, man, I can do that. These stories are interesting,
Right.
And there were stories that were outside the, Hollywood, sector.
Right.
And they were like foreign films. I was just like, man, like I want to tell something like that.
Right.
And it's almost like being bit by the bug,
Yeah.
You're like, okay, now you're on this quest of actually really making these
Right.
things, and you're not going to be satisfied till you make about 50 of them,
Right.
So it's like, I'm just trying to, but also I'm trying to create opportunities for, younger people too, once I get to that level that I want to get to,
Right.
I want to establish this.
Yeah, which is one of the interesting things about you that I know, because I've been in the company of you doing projects and being a fan of yours already. I
Thank you,
know
brother. Thank you.
the passion that you have, not only for your art and the work that you do, but for giving back to the community.
Right.
Tell me, how do you see yourself giving back to the community?
Currently or future-wise?
Future-wise.
Well, what I want to do is establish partnerships with high schools, and even if I can do K through 12, just to introduce my craft, which is cinema now, to younger people that don't have the opportunity to participate in it while they're in school.
Right.
Because I feel like it's a viable industry. It's an industry that generates a lot of money, and a lot of people take it on in a kind of hobby kind of way, and then kind of find themselves into doing it on a professional level. But why not bring the professionalism to, you know, high schools and
Right.
K through 12 with people that can really show students
Right.
how to do these things.
Right.
Because I think that was my biggest pitfall, was that, you know, I started, you know, I guess you could say I started late, you know, but there's a lot of guys that don't, you know, take cinema in high school, and, you know, they make their first
That's
feature
unheard
later
of,
on in the,
as far as I'm concerned. I didn't
Yeah.
know nothing about cinema in high school.
right. But there's people that start late, but why have them start late?
Right.
You know, why not have a program where you can funnel a high achieving student through a production company where they can get real world experience
Right.
and seeing how things function on a larger scale.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I don't see out here too much, and that's one thing that I wasn't exposed to before I actually, you know, took on the challenge of being a filmmaker.
Right.
You know, it's I think it's like for any kind of industry, for, you know, that's why you have apprenticeships. There's not too much of that anymore in high schools.
Yeah,
you
there
know?
really isn't.
You just go to school, you get your diploma, you go to college. If you don't go to college, you have to find a way to, you know, survive.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
I think that's excellent. And the reason I asked you that question is because we need more male mentors like you and myself
Right.
to be able to guide the younger generation into the future. I don't think that it's a situation where we don't have any. We have plenty, but we just need more.
Right.
Right. Because the world has changed around us.
Drastically since I was, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, now everything is, you know, technological. You know, you got, you know, inventions that are, you know, changing the way we travel, the way we communicate. A lot of times people mistake having a Facebook friend for having a real friend or a real relationship.
Right.
And this is the type of thing that kind of destroys the community.
Right.
Because you're dealing with a faux reality. It's a fake reality.
And you can be anybody on the
You
web.
could be anybody on the
Yeah,
web.
you can be anybody, you know.
You know, and it's a lot of actors out there, bad actors at that.
really.
And it's really a situation where a lot of our kids are feeding off of this, and they really need to have some way of, how can I say this, of redirecting that energy and that attention, albeit using their creativity, because two things that kids want to do if you ask them what they want to be when they grow up. They either want to be an entertainer or an astronaut. Okay? Depending on which kids you ask.
Right.
But either one of those things is very possible if they put the work in.
Oh yeah, it takes hard work. You know.
Regardless of whatever you want to get into, right?
Yeah.
So just giving them the game, so to speak, to understand that you don't get anything for free.
Right.
You have to work for this.
You have to put in work, and it'd be much easier for younger people to see themselves in those positions if they had people that they knew
Right.
come back after already being kind of established,
Right.
come back and create the pathway.
Right.
Because right now, for a lot of young people, or for myself, I'm not going to speak for everybody else. For myself, it's been cutting through the jungle. There's no direct pathway.
Right.
I know I'm going to get to the other side because,
Right.
I'm working hard, man.
Exactly.
That's the
You
goal.
putting in
You know
the
what I'm
work.
saying? I'm putting it
Yeah.
in. I know I'm going to get to the other side, but it's going to be a struggle for me. I want to make it easier for the next people to come around.
Yeah, I think that's important because of this. If you don't help, if I don't help, then who will?
Pretty much.
You know, and so we have to get out of that mindset that, you know, somebody else is going to do it, you know, or I'm too busy right now.
Right.
That happens, true enough, but you should have some level of compassion to help a kid that otherwise would not get any help at all.
Right.
And I'm just talking about it as a professional, as a professional in any industry.
Right.
Knowing that achieving things is not as easy as it used to be.
Right.
Because the world has gotten smaller, right? I mean, we're instead of 6 degrees of separation, we're like 1 degree of separation now. I mean, you can just look at Facebook, LinkedIn, and they will show you everybody. And it's weird because...
But there's still, but what's interesting is just like the quality of that interaction.
Very true.
Has, I think, subsided.
Yeah, there is very little quality whatsoever. It is almost as if we live on superficial vanities.
Somebody just types, "Hey."
Yeah.
Hi.
And I guess in the industry, what do they
know.
call that? 15 minutes of fame? Or, you know, everybody has already gotten their 15 minutes of fame by posting.
Just by being on social media. You know, you accrue fame just by being on it. And, you know, depending on your antics or whatever you're doing on there, you can get a following.
Right.
But what does that mean for the rest of the world? Yeah. And what does that mean for the younger generation that's looking to model somebody?
Exactly. And that's why I think what you do as an artist, as a director, as a filmmaker is so important. I mean, because I really got into cinema on my own, you know, just trying to figure out what's going on in the world, right? And I would just binge off of certain types of shows. The most difficult thing to get people to understand is how to communicate.
Right.
And after looking at your shorts, every one of them that you've made so far, that's one of the things that you do really well. You get that message across in a way that is understandable on multiple levels. Some people may not understand the words, but they understand the emotion.
Right.
You know, some people might not understand the emotion, but they understand the words. And that's difficult to really bring out in a film.
Right.
And I didn't realize how difficult that is until I actually started following some of these, you know, producers and directors and actors.
Right.
They go through a lot to gin up that emotion. That's stuff that is part of our automatic response system, but they gin it up
just for the moment.
Just for the moment.
and that's actually one of the reasons why I really love it, man. Especially working with actors, just to be able to watch them become somebody else.
Yeah.
And guide them into becoming somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, that's powerful. Just folks that will just tell you, you know, I'm in my zone right now. You don't even have to tell me anything. I'm just gonna do it.
Exactly. And that's how I see you right now. I mean, I see you in the zone and you're making moves, you know, and I'm happy for you because I've actually been able to see you.
You've been rocking with me for
blossom,
a minute, man.
You know, and it's like, dang, you know, this young man right here, I know he's gonna do the right thing, you know.
Man, thank you.
And not only do the right thing, but make a difference in the world, because every one of your pieces, every one of your shorts has a message to it. When are you gonna do some comedy, man?
Man, that's crazy. You're not the only person that asked me that. Because when I'm out and about and I'm hanging out, you know, I'm one of the most goofiest people on the planet.
Right.
But it just doesn't seem to come through in the work yet.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. You got a lot on your mind.
I always have, you know. I always have.
I know what's happening.
I
You got to
always
get it
have.
out first.
Yeah, I
I,
always
I get
have.
it. I
Yeah.
understand. I
That's funny. He
understand.
said, "When you gonna do some comedy?" Yeah, because the stuff that I do make is kind of like
It is.
it's comedic moments in it, but
Yeah,
it's not all.
always.
Yeah,
But
but
it's very serious business.
right.
You know, it's like the comedy is part of the relief, but
Right.
you know, the overall arching story
It's always rooted in something.
rooted in some really firm moral
Right.
realities.
Right.
You know, which is what I love about the work that you do, because
Right.
if people really got a chance to see your work, it would make them think.
Hmm.
You know, and I can't wait till you do your feature. So tell me about the next steps. I mean,
Well, yeah. So moving to LA in August, and you know, I'm relocating down there because there's more resources, and I've been here all my life, you know, from Berkeley. But I currently live in Oakland. I currently live in Oakland.
we got
but-
that straight.
No, because I don't want to be like, bro, you not from Oakland.
Right,
yeah, I'm from,
right,
yeah,
right.
But yeah, I've been up here all my life, you know. Yeah, I'm what, 28? So I've been up here all my life, and I went to school for the past like 6 years straight.
Right.
So now it's like after I've graduated, I need to leave also to grow.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm around the same people, so there's this expectation for me to be a certain kind of person.
Right.
And when you get out of that, you can become something else. And that'll also influence the work as well.
Absolutely.
You know,
you couldn't have said it better. In order to grow, you have to, you know, leave what your comfort
Right.
zone is, so that you can experience new things and interact with new people.
right.
That is,
And I realized that. I realized that. So yeah, go down there, and you know, I have 2 projects, and I can't really talk about them too much because I have to, you know, I'm not ready to pitch right now.
Right,
But
right.
I have 2 projects I'm looking to develop into 2 features.
Okay.
So going down there and gathering resources to shoot. I want to shoot them here. You know, and with that being said, I want to create a partnership with local schools, public schools in particular, to bring students to participate on the projects as well.
Right, right.
I mean, whatever kind of capacity that I can have
Yeah.
them, you know, production assistants,
And you-
whatever the case may be.
And you know, I think that would be really beneficial for the students, because, like I said, in, you know, our outreach to students, when we ask them what they want to be when they grow up, number one thing is entertainers, and then the second thing is, you know, some scientist or astronaut or something
Right,
like
right,
that,
right.
which is fine, you know, but it would be so much better for them to get exposure
Yeah, it's
to
critical.
both of those things early in their life, so that they can, you know, see what it's really like
They can make a decision.
and make a decision.
Make a decision. Like,
Yeah.
is this really for me? I know I like watching movies, but do I really want to make them?
And understand the work that goes into it, right? Because it's not just, you know, you sit down with a camera and just roll it.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. It's all about the prep. I was taught that it's all about the prep. And the prep takes longer than making the film.
Yeah,
You have to be extremely prepared for whatever is going to happen.
yeah.
So, yeah, getting kids to understand that will let them know if they're essentially, you know, down to want to do it, you know.
Really wanting to put that work effort in.
Yeah.
One of the things that kids also, as far as I'm concerned, they need are, you know, mentors and tutors to help them get through, you know, elementary school and middle school, because school has changed somewhat because of the technology that it's now available for kids to have access to. So kids actually think they're smarter than they really are, because they can Google something and get an answer.
Right.
Now, whether that answer is correct or not is up for debate, but
Right.
they get an answer and they repeat that without really going through the process of digging deeper to understand, okay, what other choices are there?
Right.
So they're more readily to accept the first answer that they get back than they are to investigate.
That's interesting. Yeah.
You know,
Because that immediacy is
yeah,
just.
it's that instantaneous response, right? And that's often misleading. You know, because there's a lot of misinformation out on the internet.
Yeah, and growing up with that at such a young age, it's priming your mind to think in that way.
It really does.
You know, especially Google. You know, Google searches, boom, boom, boom. There's no need to dig deeper because you have an answer.
Exactly.
You know, and like you said, the quality of the answer is up for debate, but you have an answer.
Right.
You know, and that hurts a lot of kids probably going into college. I don't know for sure because you know when you're in college, it's expected of you to do really thorough, deep research.
Yeah.
And if you've already been kind of conditioned, you know, throughout high school, depending on the quality of your high school,
Right.
to just turn in just anything,
Yeah.
and you're getting by that way,
Yeah.
you're not even going to be ready for college
Not at all.
because you're going to have to relearn or your thought process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what do you think is a really good method of reaching out to kids through film?
Through the content or just like actually making
Content. Let's say content.
They have to relate to it. You know, they have to see themselves in it. You know, it has to, and I think that's the challenge of any artist, and I grapple with it all the time, is making it relevant.
Right.
You know, making it relevant. You want it to be personal, but you don't want it to be too personal where other people can't relate to it.
Right.
So, yeah, they have to see themselves. You know, they have to be, you know, they have to essentially see themselves in it. They have to be in it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and creating cinema with young people, I've done that before, and it's gratifying. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, for them to embody it and then see themselves on the screen.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, people, and that's with anybody. You're making cinema for whatever kind of niche market you're going for.
Yeah.
You know, you're speaking to those people.
Right.
You know, if you want to do something broad like teenagers, you know, you got to talk about teenage issues.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and what they're going through currently.
Have you ever taken the time to look at the type of shows that teenagers are looking at today in terms of what you want to do?
Right. You know, I don't watch them. I don't watch as much television as I should because there's a lot of stuff out there that I'm not really so much interested in.
Right.
But for the sake of writing a piece for a teenage audience, that's a part of the research.
Right.
I would have to watch
Right.
a lot of stuff that I think, you know, and the fact that social media is so, you know, it's here now.
Right.
That's a good researching tool.
Absolutely.
To be able to find out what people are interested in.
Absolutely.
And pretty sure the government does it, you know. So to be able to like look
Yeah,
at people's profiles and see.
Ever since they opened up the internet to everybody.
Right,
they've been doing
right.
that.
So I would be using that as like a research tool to see what kids are interested in and permeate my story with it.
Right.
You know, so it can make it relatable, but then always having that message at the end of what I'm trying to convey to the teenage, you know, audience.
Yeah. You know, it's very interesting, the industry that you're in, and it's also very interesting that you have mastered this ability of storytelling so young.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
I really mean when I watch your shorts, it's grabbing me, like, and that is a sign of quality to me when I can feel it, you know. And so I know that there's things that you're going to do in your future that are going to be successful, but when you get to that point and you look back, what do you want to look back on?
Man, like, just the journey. You know, I don't want to feel satisfied. I don't know. I mostly just want to make my family proud.
Okay.
you know, and I want to look back and be like, man, I did all that.
Right.
Because right now in the moment, it doesn't really, for me at least, a lot of people tell me to like, you know, embrace your accomplishments and things like that.
Right.
But I don't even feel like I've done anything yet. You know, I feel like there's so much more that needs to be done.
Hungry.
I'm hungry, man. I'm starving, man. So it's like, you know, I guess I want to be able to sit back and be like, man, I did all that. Wow, that's cool.
Right.
You know, but I'm not at that stage, nowhere near that.
Right.
Yeah.
Not satisfied at all.
Man, you know, it's a lot of things I want to do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things I want to do, and I know there's a lot of people counting on me. And, you know, there's a lot of, you know, people that need to be touched, so.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that your work is going to touch a lot of people because it's already touching a lot of people. And, you know, just for the audience at home, I really want to just highlight the fact that this young man just elucidated on his life and having had to go to an institution to sit down and gather his thoughts, and came out ready and willing to go to college. Not just go, graduate, and then go get your master's degree in film, and then start working on producing quality work. That takes dedication.
Man, that sounds like a lot when you just said it, but I don't.
No,
Man,
I mean,
yeah.
I really mean that though,
Yeah.
because you can see the dedication that you have. And I've seen that before in other people, and I've seen that in myself, and it's no doubt that you're going to be successful. It's just a
Thank
matter
you.
of when, you know? And one of the things that I'm very proud of is that I know you, and not just because you're a filmmaker, but I know you as a person,
Thank you, Jeff.
and that you have a heart, and that you have a moral compass that you follow. I've seen you interact with people about different topics of films and things like that, and when certain topics come up, you just shut it down.
Gotta stay focused, man.
And that's what I see. You definitely are staying focused, you know, and continue to do that, JC. I'm telling you, man, you know, it's not that you have to please others. You have to please yourself.
Right,
When you're happy, everybody else is going to be happy with you,
right.
because the work that you do is always quality. So we are all proud,
Right.
you know, but it's that motivation, that passion to continue to do something better with the skills that you've been trained to have to do it. And that's what I really want the students out there to understand. This is not a hobby. This is something that he has a passion for, right?
Burning.
You're going to make a lot of money over your lifetime doing this, but that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you love it. And we want all kids to find something that they love, that they can make a living wage on. And if you don't have anything in mind, you know, just start writing down careers and things that you want to get some information on. Investigate, do a research paper on it, find out if you like it or not.
Right.
Talk to some people, get a mentor. Maybe you can get some experience, you know, with the mentor actually doing that specific thing.
Right.
And you can determine whether or not you like it then. But the bottom line is, do something with your life. Live, don't just exist,
Yeah.
you know? And if you have a chance to ever do a film and have me in it, please call me.
You already know.
I'm trying to get my
You already
Denzel on, man.
Man, I got something for you, E. I got something for you. I've been writing something
I'm
for you.
just messing with you, man. I can't act to save my life, man. I be the messed up everybody's lives.
No, you'd be cool in the background.
Yeah, in
though.
the background.
No, I'm just- yeah.
Well, listen, JC, I hope everybody in the audience has listened to your story and has been empowered by it, as I am. Nothing is impossible, and I know you're going to be successful. And just
Thank you, bro.
congratulations on your journey and much success.
Thank you. Same, bro.
All right, thank you. All right.